WCBI News at 10 starts now.
January will bring new faces to most of the state's top political positions, but a familiar face will be directing Mississippi's men and women in uniform at a ceremony at the War Memorial Building in Jackson today. Major General Jansen Durr Boyles accepted Governor-elect Tate Reeves' offer to remain as the Adjutant General of the Mississippi National Guard. Reeves says he can think of no one better to lead our state's military and oversee the response to any disaster or emergency that threatens our safety or freedoms.
This is a job of passion for me. I've been in this National Guard for 38 years. What truly makes it enjoyable are these remarkable men and women who surround me. There's something to be said about these young men and women today who are signing up to join the military knowing that they're going somewhere. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria.
Boyle served in the Guard during Katrina, where he managed the engineer response as a deputy commander. He was also deployed twice to Afghanistan in 2008 and Kosovo in 2012. New developments in a story we first brought you last night on WCBI News. We now know the name of the pilot who crash-landed a small airplane on Old Highway 25 in OKTIBBEHA County. Robert Young of Texas was on his way to sell the airplane when he experienced fuel issues and his engine died. He immediately began trying to find a safe place to land. Unfortunately, there wasn't a safe landing zone nearby. An area flight instructor heard the call come in, and as our Quentin Smith reports, he jumped into action and was able to direct help to where it was needed.
As daylight broke over the crash site, many people still can't believe that a Texas pilot was able to walk away from this plane crash unharmed.
He's just very fortunate to be alive because the plane's destroyed.
Robert Young was heading to the Golden Triangle Regional Airport when he started having trouble with his plane. He then tried to redirect to George Bryan Airport in Starkville. Carl Nuzzo, the chief instructor at Accessible Aviation, was able to talk to Young as the plane began to go down.
I was on instrument training sortie with a student, and we were 12 miles shooting an instrument approach, and we called up traffic to self-announce that we were coming in, and then he said he was ahead of us with a problem.
The plane reportedly ran out of fuel, and the engine suddenly quit. Realizing the severity of this situation, Nuzzo and Young then began discussing ways to safely land the plane.
I said, okay, I'll stay up high and you go ahead in, I'll stay out of your way. Then he said he might not make it and wanted to know if there was any place to land short of the field. And I said, no, you've got about half a mile on the clearway on the airport property, otherwise there's no place to go.
Pilot tried to put it down on the road, but he said there's a lot of traffic on the road. And so he just diverted over a little bit, and there was the trees.
Less than 5 minutes after losing power, the pilot crashed in the middle of these trees. Investigators on scene say the situation could have easily been much worse.
In an airplane like that, you can get it slowed down. He might have been 35, 40 miles an hour, so it was not much more than a car crash, and he had seatbelt on, but it's still very lucky to be alive.
The pilot was reportedly on scene today talking with the FAA as they conducted their investigation. A salvage company will load up the plane and haul everything away. New tonight, a 2-month-old child is fighting for its life after doctors say it was brought into the ER with life-threatening injuries. Justin Spencer, the man you see here, Tupelo police say is the father of the child. He's now facing a felony child abuse charge and being held without bond. On Tuesday, police were called to the North Mississippi Medical Center emergency room in reference to possible child abuse. Spencer was detained there in the ER. The child is now in Le Bonheur Children's Hospital in Memphis. 2 people are injured after a shooting on Columbus's south side. Police Chief Fred Shelton says that his department got a call around 4 o'clock this afternoon of a shooting on 5th Avenue South. When officers got to the home, they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to Baptist Golden Triangle. A second gunshot victim also showed up at the hospital. Shelton says it's unclear if that man was at the home at the time of the shooting. One individual has turned themselves into police. That person is being considered a person of interest at this time.
Clear skies out there. Temperatures cooling down into the lower 30s and even some upper 20s as of 10:04. So another chilly night. We may see some of that frost once again, so plan accordingly. Just some scattered high clouds drifting on in from the southwest of the high variety. So really nothing to speak of as far as active weather for tonight. A cold start on Friday, 20s. By midday, we are looking at near 50-degree temperatures and likely low to mid-50s in the afternoon. But notice how the clouds will be increasing during the course of our day. We should stay dry, but as we get into the weekend, that will be changing. But here's our forecast for tomorrow. Low to maybe mid-50s, a gradual increase in cloud cover. I'm back with the full forecast coming up.
A store in Starkville was offering up one-of-a-kind gifts with a little local flavor today. Some of the Magnolia Estate's homegrown authors and artists were on hand to lend that personal touch to their work. Our Tyler Hull sat down with a few of them to find out what inspires their work.
Many of us are going online for our Christmas shopping. One bookstore in Starkville is helping keep it local. Real local. The Book Morning Cafe let customers get up close and personal not only with books, but also the people who write them. The afternoon book signing featured a wide variety of Mississippi authors, and they were able to share the stories behind their stories. Former judge James Bell draws from his time on the bench to populate his fiction with realistic characters and situations.
I use some of the stories that I witnessed or that I experienced, that I've been part of, in my books.
For others, like P.J. DeVere, it's about sharing a world of her own creation.
They're my friends in my head at this point. They're sarcastic and funny and witty and clever, and I love everything about the people in the world I've created.
The inspiration for Benny Graves' short stories comes from his immersion in the natural world around him.
I grew up around these trees, and I knew a lot of things that happened around these trees, and so I sat down one day and started writing a few stories about what happened around one tree, and it grew and grew and grew until I had 28 different trees on my farm.
Store owner Carolyn Abity says it's a chance to show off some of the talent that is right here in our own backyard.
Oh, it's just a lot of fun. We get all our very, very talented authors and artists to come in, and it just means a lot for the whole community to be able to come in and meet these people, know them personally, and just see how talented they are.
Tyler Hull, WCBI.
A total of 12 authors were on hand for today's event. Tupelo's American Legion baseball team adds to its Hall of Fame. American Legion Post 49 hosted its second annual Baseball Hall of Fame banquet. The class of 2019 is made up of General Sam Skeeter Fleming and Milwaukee Brewers pitcher Brandon Woodruff. The Hall of Fame banquet recognizes former 49ers, and it is also an opportunity for the former players to promote the skills they learned playing on the team.
Being able to travel, you kind of on our own. You kind of gotta be a grown-up in a way. You got to be there on time. You got to be able to do the things the right way, or you'll get in trouble. Kirk Presley was our manager at the time, and he always instilled some of those, hard-working values.
It's a very, very structured program. It's the oldest form of summer baseball there is. It's the purest form still left.
The Tupelo 49ers won the state championship this past summer. As we inch closer and closer to Christmas Day, community members are making sure every child has a gift to open this holiday season. Our Stephanie Poole has more on efforts to help some Monroe County kids have a merrier Christmas.
Santa made an early delivery to the children at Aberdeen Head Start. Parents and faculty members hosted a toy giveaway to help fill the bottom of their students' Christmas trees.
Me and my former principal, Barbara Rowe, we got together, and first we started out with just doing 2 students. Then she said, no, check around and see about the others. So when we checked around with the teachers and all, then we found out that it was more. So we decided to adopt the Aberdeen Head Start.
Secretary Betsy McGee said she needed all hands on deck to pull off the big surprise.
Contacting friends, family, former teachers, former principals, and former teachers, asking them would they like to adopt a child or give me a donation.
After weeks of pulling together wish lists, they were able to provide gifts for over 100 children. Center Administrator Guyora Vassar says it's truly a Christmas miracle.
Lots of children don't have access, parents don't have the funds to give the children what we think they want or need.
And every child will go home with a new coat, gloves, and hat.
A lot of kids don't have adequate coats and whatever, and we want them warm and comfortable.
McGee and Vassar hope their students will carry on this tradition in years to come.
We hope that they appreciate what all these contributors did for us.
We overjoyed. They're going to be overjoyed. The parents are going to be overjoyed, and we're overjoyed also. And so we're so grateful to have them do this for us.
My favorite time of year. Aberdeen Head Start says that they plan to host a toy giveaway again next year. Well, time to send things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. And Keith, you have my favorite kind of forecast.
A beach forecast, but
just not for right here.
No.
Well, I mean, we're not. Well, yeah, there's not a beach here. Never mind.
Well,
I was going somewhere with that, but it didn't work out.
No, and you know, I haven't used this graphic since we switched over to these new graphics, so why not for this weekend if you're going down to the Gulf Coast, Biloxi, showers, 50s, rain is likely, rain gear needed. We'll have a chance for some rain around here too, but things turn around for the holiday. We'll talk about it next.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
We had a busy start to the work week. 15 tornadoes reported and now confirmed in the state of Mississippi. Those are the general locations, 10 across central and southern Mississippi, and of course the 5 we had here in northeast Mississippi that we talked about earlier this week. So pretty active. Now as we get into next week, Christmas week, mild and stable here in our region. So we will have no severe weather through the holiday. The next chance of any real stormy weather maybe by the end of next weekend, but we'll just have some showers around here this weekend, followed by some really good weather for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Speaking of that, 63 on Christmas Eve day, 64 for Christmas Day. Santa loving his little jaunt down to the deep south with all of this sunshine and these mild temperatures. Here's your AccuWeather. Well, no, this is your sky cams. Yeah, I thought the show was done. Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon, Alabama, Durham's Pharmacy, and Louisville, Mississippi. I'm already mentally checked out for the holidays, Scott. Don't blame me. He said he is as well. So, hey, you know what? When you're talking about Christmas and the weather's quiet, you can mentally check out for the most part because we've had some really active weather during Christmas recently, the last couple of years down here, not so much this year. 30s and 40s here and 20s showing on up in our region. Clouds on the increase. You can see those clouds here, and they will gradually build back in as we get into our day tomorrow. So I think we'll become overcast, but the moisture stays to our south, and it really gets going this weekend. We'll start to see some showers drift back into North Mississippi during the day Saturday. Probably not initially, but during the afternoon and evening, a better chance for some showers into Saturday night and Sunday. Now, there could be a band of heavier rain somewhere across central and southern Mississippi and Alabama. Will they get up in here? It's going to be a close call before all of this gets out of here early next week. So we have a chance between 0 and several inches of rain, maybe over 2. There could be several inches, maybe 2 to 4 down here across the south, but we'll just wait and see how this all plays out. There's Scooby. I love Scooby. Kind of reminds me of my dog Aurora, same color. We are looking at temperatures tomorrow in the 20s to begin, back into the afternoon temperatures in the 50s. So low to mid 50s should do it. Clouds will be on the increase for our day tomorrow. Not too shabby. Winds fairly light and variable. If anything from the east and southeast at about 4 to 8 miles per hour. But that will do it for tomorrow across Mississippi and Alabama. Clouds on the increase, but I think most of that moisture stays away. Here's your AccuWeather 70 forecast. Now, those rain chances go up as we get into a Saturday, especially during the second half of the day through Sunday. So if you do have any shopping plans, Scott, which I probably need to get out there because I've just been doing nothing. I'll have to be prepared. But Santa is going to be happy here for those 60s next week.
Awesome. I've actually got all mine done. I've got a couple more things I'm waiting that I ordered for online. So
you know,
I don't have to
I'm usually ahead of the game. This year, I don't know what's going on.
Well, I will say I've been way behind this year, but I'm catching up. All right.
All right.
Well, our sports team, they've been recognizing some of the top area high school players this season. We see who's receiving the top offensive honors a little bit later in sports. Welcome back, everyone. When you get behind the wheel, especially if you're doing any holiday traveling, it's always good to make sure that you buckle up. We look at some more important safety features in tonight's Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Lee Richardson, a physician in the emergency room at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight we will discuss the importance of using restraints in a motorized vehicle. By wearing seat belts and properly buckling children into age and size appropriate car seats and booster seats, people can reduce the risk of serious injury and even death in a crash by 1/2. Drivers and adult front seat passengers must wear seat belts in the District of Columbia and all states except New Hampshire. In Mississippi, seatbelt laws are primary. They cover front seat passengers age 7 and older and mean a police officer can stop and ticket someone solely for not buckling themselves or their child up. In Mississippi, children 3 years and younger must be in the appropriate car seat for their age and size. For children aged 4 to 6, a booster seat is required unless the child meets the height and weight qualifications when he or she can safely be buckled into an adult seat belt. Child restraint laws vary by state. For up-to-date information on laws in your state, check with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety at www.iihs.org. It is also crucial that you use the proper restraints and safety equipment when using other motorized vehicles such as dune buggies and all-terrain vehicles to avoid serious head, neck, and spinal cord injuries or even death. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
The Bulldogs avoid the upset special and welcome back one of its top players. More on Mississippi State men's hoops next in sports.
Here's WCBI Sports with Chris Bolton.
After securing a top 25 recruiting class in the early signing period, it looks Mississippi State could be in need of a new linebackers coach. MSU linebackers coach Chris Marv is reportedly set to join Mike Norvell's staff at Florida State. Now, before joining the Bulldogs, Marv spent 5 seasons coaching at his alma mater, Vanderbilt. MSU will play in the Music City Bowl in Nashville December 30th against Louisville. Out west, Mississippi State playing in Las Vegas as they compete in the Duel in the Desert, getting the win tonight. The number 15 ranked Bulldogs defeat South Florida 86-61 to help them get back on track. Freshman Rakia Jackson with the big game tonight, putting up 17 points and grabbing 10 boards, giving Jackson her first career double-double, one of many to come in her MSU career. Chloe Bibby also with a big night. She had a team-high 21 points while going 5 for 7 from deep. The long-awaited return of Nick Weatherspoon has finally come. The Bulldogs adding an all-SEC talent at guard and at the perfect time. Mississippi State using a big second half to escape a hot-shooting Radford team, 77-68. In the win, the Bulldogs only played 7 guys, so the addition of Weatherspoon will be a much-added piece to the Bulldogs' depth. Just ask Ben Howland. The head coach is really excited to get the junior guard back in the rotation.
I am so happy that Nick's can be out there with us now. That's such a huge boost for us. This in terms of spreading minutes out better, the energy and the toughness he brings, the defensive, the experience, everything. It just makes us a better team without question, and we're going to need him on Sunday.
I feel like our defensive intensity has grown and our energy on the defensive end has been exceptional the past few games, and I feel like he'll just help us take that to a next level, so help us become an elite defensive team.
Mississippi State outscoring Radford 39-26 in the second half, helping the Bulldogs escape the SEC graveyard from Wednesday. The Bulldogs and Alabama the only ones to win. Loyola Chicago took down Vanderbilt 78-70. East Tennessee State defeating LSU 74-63. Then a really good Cincinnati team, they knock off the 21-ranked Tennessee 78-66. And Utah taking down Big Blue Nation Kentucky 69-66. And then the upcoming SEC basketball schedule for the weekend, we have men's basketball in Jackson. Southeast Louisiana will be taking on Ole Miss. That game will be at 1 o'clock Saturday. Then New Mexico State, they'll take on Mississippi State 2 o'clock Sunday. And also in women's basketball, they'll be playing Sunday as well at 4:30 against the winner of UNLV and Virginia. Our End Zone Awards continuing tonight with honoring the top offensive baller in the WCBI area. 5 candidates, 5 football players who helped lead their teams to great seasons, but there can only be one. We broke down the stats, debated amongst our staff, yet sometimes it just comes down to the eye test. And when it comes down to offensive talent, no one stood out like Starkville wide receiver Rufus Harvey. 1,200 yards on offense in the biggest, most competitive class in football, leading 6A football in receiving touchdowns with 16. The only wide receiver top 5 in the state in total touchdowns with 19. The games that always stand out, taking over the game against number 1 Madison Central. almost breaking A.J. Brown's single-game receiving record against Horn Lake in the first round of playoffs. Rufus was the ATM, always open, always delivering on the money.
All right, congratulations to him. Wow.
Big-time season, big-time player.
I was about to say, it's been a big and a really good football season. It's hard to believe that it's already over.
Like several different players to choose from. We ended up having to go in with Rufus.
It's so hard to pick. It's so hard to pick. All right, thank you very much, Chris. Well, let's look at your forecast when we come back.
Here's our 7-day. Clouds increase tomorrow, showers possible, or some rain this weekend. So we may have some wet weather for last-second Christmas shopping, but just in time for Santa to floss his way on in here. We're looking at some sunshine and some 60s. So.
The last second for Keith to get all of his Christmas shopping done. Not to put you on blast.
Hey.
What about you, Chris? Do you have yours done yet?
Hey, we're good.
Okay. All right. The one thing I've got to do is wrap.
I like wrapping gifts, but I can't do it like
that's
the
always
pros
the worst
can do.
part.
Yeah, I'm not that good at
first.
it. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow night, same time, same place. At least on this one. Hopefully.